So because we have the peace and because we have the law, verse 12, therefore, just as through one man sin entered the world, and death through sin, and thus death spread to all men because all sinned. We understand that the problem with death is that it's rooted in one act of Adam. If you are familiar with this passage, I want to share with you just a couple of passages here in the book of Genesis. It declares this. As the Lord is speaking, I want to read to you Genesis 1, verse 26 and verse 27. It makes this declaration. Then God said, let us make man in our image according to our likeness. Let them have dominion. So God said, let us make man in our image. Trinity. Let us make man in our likeness, the Trinity. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the birds and over the cattle, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female. He created them. So God here creates man. And as he creates man, now we begin to see that man was created in the image of God. However, once man sinned, and he no longer has that spiritual connection with God. Because when God made him in our image, the Trinity had a spiritual connection with the rest of the Trinity. They all had this connection one to another, this connection of just righteousness and love and purity. Well, now that's broken. The fellowship because of Adam is broken. So man is now, when he said that you eat of this fruit, you shall surely die. Of course, he's separated from God. And then one of the saddest things, one of the saddest verses is found in Genesis chapter 5, verse 3. Of course, we covered it when we were in Genesis, but it says this, Adam lived 130 years. He begot a son in his own likeness after his image. Do you understand what happens is when Adam has a son, it's not in the image of which God created. It was in the image of now that he fell. And so as we look to this, we now begin to see that this whole problem with death is rooted in this act of Adam.